Hey everyone, Bobby here. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to show you the best way to hold a pencil depending on the type of drawing that you want to make. Now before we get into it, you're going to notice a thumbnail sketch right here of a creature. This thumbnail sketch took approximately 2 minutes to make. Now I'm going to show you the different levels that we're going to go through in order to make that sketch, and you're probably going to be a little bit uncomfortable because you're not used to drawing this quickly. So let's get right into it. When you look at a pencil, a standard pencil, okay, you got your front, you got your middle, and you got your back. Most people, or people that maybe aren't familiar with drawing as much as others, will grip it right in the front and dive right into detail. This is something that I'm guilty of, and this is something that most people are guilty of until they learn how to loosen up. So, you have your details in the front, and then you have your refinement area in the middle. Now the refinement area in the middle is most likely my favorite, mainly because I like detail, but also this is a good way to take lines that are already on the page, like this, and make them a little darker, make them a little sharper, and show some good line weight and line quality in there. The back of the pencil is most reserved for super loose, large gestural sketching. You'll notice it a lot in figure drawing classes where students and teachers are standing up, drawing on very large sheets of paper, maybe vellum or newsprint, and even canvas when you have charcoal, etc. You don't want to grip a pencil or pen very hard when you draw like this. Now, how to actually put your fingers on the pencil to make the best drawing possible. Let me show you. So whenever I like gripping the pencil, I like having my pointer finger and my middle finger to guide. My ring finger and my pinky finger are directly underneath the pencil. This acts as an anchor point. Now, a little side note. A lot of people have asked me over the years, Bobby, how the heck do you draw and not smear the paper, especially if you're drawing with graphite? And let me show you the trick. It's all in the pinky. Now, what do you mean? So whenever you draw on paper, especially with graphite, you're going to notice that the palm of your hand gets very, very dirty. Well, guess why? Because you keep sliding your hand back and forth while making the drawing. And then another thing that people do is that if they happen to erase an area, and then you have pencil shavings on the paper, what do? We brush it away. That's a no-no. You got to blow them away. And then you take the eraser and then you dab it until you get up as much as you can. And then whatever's left over, you flick it away. The rubbing and the sliding of your hand will smear your drawing, and it will make for a very gross looking drawing, even if it started off very well. But let's get back into holding a pencil. So usually when we put our fingers up here, we grip it tightly because we want to jump right into the fine detail. And we grip it like this as if we're writing. You don't want to draw as if you're writing, because writing specifically needs you to do detail and make sure that the letters look good. When it comes to drawing, the details are usually the icing on the cake. We don't even get into that until we're almost done with the drawing. So, how did I do this? Well, let me show you. I'm going to sketch very, very lightly the ground, like that. Now, the beauty about sketching like this is that it doesn't really matter what it's going to look like, okay? And my advice to you, if you spend a little bit too much time on a drawing, put a stopwatch next to your paper. Usually it's on your cell phone. So just put 2 minutes on there and sketch away. Now watch what I can do by holding my pencil lightly. You'll notice that I'm going very quickly, and I don't really care where I'm placing the lines. You might say it looks like a hairball, and yes, it does. I have an idea in mind of what I'm going to put on here. Maybe another type of bug creature. But I'm just kind of letting my hand fall where it may. Now you notice my fingers are very loose. They're not gripping it in the front like this. I'm not tense. It's just loose. So when you get to about the minute mark, you'll notice that, hey, I kind of have like a big boss beetle looking thing. Great. Now let's add in some value. Okay, so notice how I'm holding it in the middle and it's not getting any closer. So I want to hold it in the back now because my angle of my arm is most comfortable when I sketch like this to add shading. Now, how am I going to add shading by this? I'm just pinching it with 2 fingers this time. Okay. Usually you can cross hatch or just regular hatch some shading marks in there, and that's all you need. Again, we don't want to dive into detail too much because we should not care about it at this point. Concept art all deals with concepts, not final illustrations until you get the concept down. And I think that's where a lot of sites like ArtStation and other sites where it shows artwork, we see all the pretty stuff at the end. And all of those artists on there, as awesome as they are, they went through this stage. They went through the ugly stuff before they got to the cool stuff. So now I'm just highlighting. I guess it's not a highlight, it's a darker line. I guess I'm accentuating some areas where I know that there's going to be some shadow in here. See how I'm pinching the front now because I'm getting smaller in the lines. But this is coming at the very end of my sketch. And instead of me going into super amounts of detail trying to shade down here and make sure all the values are good, that can always come later. Now when you look, we have a nice big creature sketch. And the cool thing about thumbnail sketching like this is that if you have 10 people in a room looking at this drawing, 10 people are going to interpret this differently. That's what excites a design team, an art director, a hiring manager, and your clients, is that you have so many different ideas flowing because of all the lines you allowed your brain to put on paper. So hopefully that helped. Remember, details in the front, refinement in the middle, gesture in the back. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next video.